Alright, so it's been a while. I spent the last few weeks in bed absolutely sick. Don't get the flu or pneumonia, it'll kill you. Anyway, so I'm half back on my feet. We are looking at making this power steering rack actually powered by something rather than just air. So, I mean, it's got enough torque without the hydraulics going around, so I was umming and ahhing about not doing it, but it's power steering, it needs it, it's got to have it. So I bought this little unit, brand new second-hand, the out of an Astra, Holden Astra. Sorry, my camera's a bit blurry, I'll fix that in a second. So the idea is it's fully electric, not fully, hydraulic mostly. We'll connect this up to 144 volts, reduced down to 12 volts, some control wires, make it turn on and off, and that'll pump the fluid around the steering. Now, just dumb luck, came with a new fitting, what goes in there to adapt to whatever, but this is exactly the same as, oh, hands in the way, the actual original unit from the Jag. Ta-da! So this will plug straight in. Now, straight in as in, can't just cable tie the bloody thing there, we've got to mount it so it doesn't fall off. This is the original, hang on, 2 seconds. Alright, you can see a bit better now. That's the original bracketry. Luck just so has it, with a little bit of tweaking, it'll pretty much bolt straight into there, like that. Sorry, my shadow's in the way, you can't see it. But pretty much with a little bit of hammering, make it look a bit more pretty. If it sits like that, my hoses will reach around, plug straight in like that. The low side will just clamp straight on, and that should be enough clearance there to have the electric motor, little gearbox all set up. Yeah, done. So here's the unit on the bench. This plonks down something like that. Used to what here. Gonna just cut that off. Well, not cut it. Undo that. Gone. Clean up all this bull crap. Now I'm only needing this one, which goes to the steering rack mount, I guess, and this one goes all the way, where is it, that one. I don't know whether to cut it and weld it directly to where it lives. Somewhere in there, where that round hole is, where the bracket's going to sit, because that's a cross member, and it's hollow on the inside, so there's a bottom on it, a top, sides. I can't get into there to put a nut on to bolt it in, so I was thinking maybe I'll just weld it straight to it. Those aren't my welds, that's factory welds right there. Yeah. Either way, I don't need this one. Alright, a little bit of an update. I changed my thought processes. Squeeze. Alright, so I can't show putting this in because it's not very family friendly. I ended up welding a nut into that chassis part, cross member, Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth and grinding and fixing and re-welding, and so yeah, so I threw out that original bit. I don't think I'm going to show that in the video. That one was easy, so we've got to clean it all up. That's bolted in. I'll put a washer on that once it's all painted. Same with that one. Yeah, so that's sitting there. My light isn't. It's been a pain in the ass. So I'll whack a couple of these bolts on the mounts. Yeah, and hopefully that'll line up exactly where it needs to go. Well, I can't really record and do this at the same time, so space is premium. If I can try and get all the way in. This will cable tie nicely to the steering rack. You can see I'm still puffing. So that'll sit nice. That's a little bit loose, so I can move it around a bit. So that's exactly where I want it to sit. Tighten. I'll probably shorten this low pressure side. I want to bend this up a little bit, get it off. It's below, when you look under the car, all you can see is this hanging down. So I reckon if I can bend it up, I'll shorten it, make it track, well, you can't see my finger, nicely up into there. And I'm sitting where the engine will be, or the motor, electric motor. And the front won't come past here, I don't believe. So there'll be plenty of room for other wires, control boxes, blah 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 blah. Plenty of room. Anyway, that's as in as it's going to be at the moment. This wiring I have to wait till I've got batteries and a power supply mounted somewhere, and then good to go. So that mount I just built is no longer there. It's just getting painted. That's all good. I'm going to be putting a vanity plate across here where this radiator sat. It looked horrible. You could see all the framework. That's going to get covered up right about now. And that's why I've taken the radiator out, the hood off. Give me a chance to do some rust work on that. Get this one, I don't think I'll remake this one, I'll polish it up, paint it, and that'll be its final mount once I put it in. I got those hoses off. They're sitting there putting oil all over the lovely paintwork. Yeah, so the idea is make it look pretty when you lift up the bonnet or the hood. You won't see any of that front part. You will see part of that. That's where that big pump is going to sit, and the motor will be sitting in here. They're my little stupid mounts for the moment until I can figure out where it's actually going to sit. I've got to save up a lot of money to get the actual motor, and then even more for the batteries. So yeah, life keeps on throwing shit at you, but we'll carry on with the easy stuff, cheap stuff I should say. Here it is on the bench, upside down. My idea is I don't need airflow through here, but I do like the look of this old shit up the top, but I want it to look new when you open up the bonnet, obviously. So I'm going to cover all of this. I'm going to weld those bolts in because they will just sit there forever. That'll drop into those slots and be bolted. Yeah, so I'm going to cut a sheet of this stuff out. Look at that. bloody winter in Bunbury. You can see where it was covered by another sheet, and this bit's exposed a little bit and has gone to shit. I'm going to cut a section which is pretty much that size there. Weld it into here. Cover up all of this and probably put some of my patented speed holes so that it'll match. When you look through there, will match through to those holes up there. Yeah? I don't know. That's the idea. Anyway, I'll get into it. Alright, what do you reckon? Yeah, it's not going to sit right about there. Can you see it? A million holes. I don't know. I guess it'll look better once they're punched in. Last one. Holy moly. That seemed to take forever. Rightio, back out in the dark shed again. My lighting and my audio is rubbish on my videos, so I don't care. So I made this little vanity plate. This little notch out is because my bracket needs to fit in here. And I was going to use these existing holes to bolt it in. But then I was thinking, once it's in, it doesn't have to go anywhere. It's going to be there forever. There's no need to have to remove it. Literally just to cover up this little section in here. So I'm going to weld it in. That end and this end. The middle can stay. That little bullshit going on here is to allow my bracket that I built to actually fit. You're never going to see that hole much anyway. So that's going to be there. And then painted the same colour as all this other dirt. Alright, through multiple coughing fits, I've managed to paint it, weld it, install that. It's a giant looking pump. Like, it's not a very big vehicle. You'd think it doesn't need to be that ginormous. How much oil can you fit? Bloody hell. And yeah, it's pretty much done. I haven't topped it up to see if it holds. All these seals should be okay. Should be enough room for a motor to go in. So there we have it. That's like fucking 5 days worth of work on and off. Coughing up shit, breathing through snot. That's a horrible looking weld. That one's a bit better. That was shit. all bolted in. Just need to do some wiring. As I say, battery, earth. I don't think we use the brown. That's just gonna disappear. Unless I want like a little LED light to tell me that the pump's running. Although, I'm not that far away from it, I could probably hear it. So, that's on and on. Positive, positive. And the pump will run, and then I'll be able to steer.